Hello Virgo, welcome to Monarch Intuition, and today I'm going to be doing our October 2022 mid-monthly check-in reading for you. So if you're new to my channel, what I like to do is I like to pull one major arcana to see the energy and then clarify with a different deck. So what card needs to come out for the sign of Virgo? What do we need to know for you? So one major arcana. All right. We have the Hanged Man, seeing things from a higher perspective right here. This can also represent self-sacrifice. The Hanged Man is kind of represented by St. Valentine, who was hanged upside down because he didn't want to be crucified the same way Jesus was crucified. So, in reality, the upside down cross is not a satanic symbol. It's actually a symbol for deep reflection, deep meditation, and self-sacrifice. So, when we see the Hanged Man energy, it's important to understand that when you hang yourself upside down, you do see things from a different perspective, right? And when he has seen the things from a different perspective, he cuts himself down. Now, people can think that he's foolish. Like, why would you think that way? Why would you do something like that? What is your secret? But only the Hanged Man knows what he's trying to find out. Everyone else is living, their lives. They have a million different thoughts. But the Hanged Man is stuck on one situation within his life. It's kind of representation of the Eight of Swords. So he's moving from the Eight of Swords into this upside down perspective to try to gain a better grasp of the situation. So he's kind of like obsessing over something. So what is going on with this Hanged Man energy? Now, you do rule the Eight of Pentacles, right? Which represents hard work, representing like perfect craftsmanship. So I kind of feel like it could be over work. It could be over some type of craft that you are doing right here. It could also just be, schoolwork, whatever. So what's going on for Virgo? What do we need to know? We have the Nine of Swords in reverse. We have the Chariot upright, and you have the Moon. Okay. What you're trying to do is you're trying to figure out some sort of thought process right here that's giving you anxiety. So maybe you think that you've done something bad within your life right here, and you feel like if you think about the situation over and over and over, you're going to find out the truth behind the matter. Maybe this is something that you have a guilty complex, a guilty conscience about. This could be, your mind is playing tricks on you. Did I actually do that? Like maybe you have such a vivid dream within your life right here, and you're actually wondering if you did something bad or if you did those actions within that dream. But I'm seeing right here that underneath this moonlight energy, you have double clarification of Cancerian energy coming out. It's represented by just fantasy. It's not real. So I kind of feel like you're having a thought. Maybe you have some sort of anxiety. And I feel like you're overcoming it with that Chariot. But you do have to put in some thought into a situation right here. With this moonlight energy and double clarification of Cancerian energy, it's rising above the darkness itself. Okay, so when we look at the Nine of Swords, it's represented by Gemini, and you and Gemini co-rule Mercury. So it's easy for you to go into that Geminian energy, that Mercurial energy, because it is your energy at the same time. So when I see this right here, you're obsessing over something that gave you anxiety, right? I feel like the anxiety is connected to the moon. If you really think about the situation, I don't really think you need to, but if you do, if you really feel compelled to do so, I feel like you will find the out right here with the Chariot and the Hanged Man. You will see things from a higher perspective. But let's clarify this energy for you, Virgo. What's going on with this Nine of Swords? Now, it is in reverse, so you are coming out of the situation. That's why I don't really feel like you need to worry about it. So, what is going on for Virgo? What do we need to know? Unless it's something outside of your control, like maybe you're like scared about, a situation, a date coming up within your life, whatever. But I feel like it's not something that you really need to put too much time and effort into. Nine of Swords, you have the Knight of Cups, and you have the Ace of Cups. So I kind of feel like it's about an emotional situation right here. Maybe you have thoughts plaguing you about an emotional connection, emotional situation where maybe you've handed out your cup of love and you're wondering if the person likes you back. I don't really do love readings, so it could be anything that you've invested your time emotionally into. You're wondering if it's going to come back to you. With the Ace of Cups and the Knight of Cups coming out, the Knight of Cups is like taking the Ace of Cups right here. The Ace of Cups is being presented out of the sky, and you are taking the cup. This Chariot energy, Six of Cups with the Six of Swords coming out. When I see this right here, this is like you're mentally moving away from the situation. You got the cup that you needed, you got the emotional fulfillment, and you're mentally moving on from that now. Okay? You understand what was inside the cup. You understand the situation to completion. I feel like you're happy about it. Maybe after a time of like intense thinking, maybe you feel like you're freed from whatever this is. What is this moonlight energy? You have the Hierophant and you have the Nine of Wands. I feel like you are thinking about pain and suffering right here within a Hierophant organization as well. I feel like you've put a lot of time and a lot of stress and a lot of effort into whatever this is going on. The Hierophant does represent, law, structure, military, government, justice, things of that nature. Anything that has a social hierarchy, so it can also represent religion as well. I feel like you're bruised and battered by religion right here, or whatever this structure is. I'm not calling out the church, I'm not calling anyone out who's religious. I'm saying that I feel like there is a moonlight, there is something that's not completely open about this Hierophant. There is a situation, a sect, a secret meeting that you're blocked off to. And because you're blocked off to it, because you don't know about it, you're going around in secrets, or you're going around in circles, you're hurting yourself, you're not getting enough sleep, you feel bruised and battered because something is being hidden from this Hierophant. Or you're blocked off to information from the Hierophant. So what information are you blocked off to? The Judgment Call, along with the Page of Cups, and the Five of Swords. So the information that you're blocked off to is that I feel like there was an argument about you, and I feel like a lot of people had some negative things to say about you. That's why you're blocked off to this. Now you're mulling the situation over. You're trying to see things from a higher perspective. You're trying to gain insight. I feel like the reason you can't figure it out is because no one wants you to figure it out, because a lot of bad things were said about you. With the Judgment Call being called out of the grave about this Page of Cups, a page being called, and a lot of people, trash talking this page with the Five of Swords. So trash talking someone who's younger, someone who's an initiate to something. I feel like maybe you took this cup from this organization, or this person, or this thing. It gave you, problems. People didn't like you. You were able to leave the situation, and you're wondering why. Why were you able to leave whatever this is? I kind of feel like you were left unscathed a little bit. Well, no, you got the Nine of Swords coming out, so I feel like you were a little worse for the wear, whatever this was. Page of Wands, Death, Fool. I feel like there was a situation, and this whole goal was to kill off an aspect of yourself, maybe even two aspects of yourself, okay? I think you're wondering why they did this. What was the point of this? Why? That might be something I need to clarify. Let's pull what the point was before we get into this, because this has a different message, but it ties into why they did it. So why did they do it to you? Three of Swords with the Eight of Cups. One more. The Three of Wands. I feel like, in a way, they viewed you, and I'm not saying this is how you are, I feel like they viewed you as being a little bit flighty. Someone who is not like 1 foot in, 1 foot out of the organization already. Someone who wasn't wanting to lay stable grounds. And so what they did was they kind of backstabbed you. They kind of made your life miserable while you were leaving, or up to the point where you were leaving. Now, what you're trying to figure out is why they would do all of that to you, to bother you. Why would they, instead of just, letting you go peacefully, instead of letting the situation go, instead of just sweeping it under the rug? Because they were trying to kill two aspects of yourself. They were trying to kill your creativity and your emotional well-being with this Page of Cups and this Page of Wands. They wanted to thoroughly destroy those aspects, this young fire energy and this young water energy of you. The need to feel loved and be loved, and to give love, and the need to be able to move forward in a, not a provocative manner, but in a happy-go-lucky manner. They basically wanted to rip out, the childlike innocence that you had, okay? But here's the thing. What they did not see coming right here is that you have this foolish energy. The Fool is a representation of all 4 pages. So I feel like they were viewing you as a page right here, but in reality, you're embodying this Fool-like energy. This could be something that's going on right now within your life right here, where you're wondering why someone is being rude to you, why someone is trying to be toxic to you. You're going around and around in circles, right? The reason is that I don't feel like they view you as being a stable person, and I'm not talking about mental stability. I'm talking about like, are you actually going to stay in this organization? I feel like this person is one of those people who is like, Virgo, would you die for me? And if you said no, this person would be like, take that as a serious offense to them. They would take it as though like you had betrayed them or betrayed their trust or whatever this was. They'd view you as someone who has one foot in and one foot out. It's like, that's a very simple question, but it can have a lot of, weight behind it. Okay? So what they're trying to do is they're trying to ruin and sabotage little things about you. Trying to make you kind of like damaged goods for the next thing within your life. But here's the thing, you have the foolish energy. I feel like you've lived through these kinds of situations before. I feel like maybe it's not as, you've never lived through a situation that's this raw because you have a lot of major arcanas coming out. But ultimately, you can't kill the fool. This energy will come back regardless because the fool is an aspect of all of these energies. You can't kill these parts off of the fool because he is comprised of all four parts of the pages. He embodies all four elements, okay? He is the beginning and the end of a situation. Seven of Wands, the King of Swords. Pushing back against this information right here, or you have the information now to push back against something. That's kind of what I'm feeling for you, Virgo, is that maybe you don't know why the situation is like this. You don't know why people are treating you poorly at work, in love, in a situation, school, whatever. But I do feel like it has to do because, someone, something, whatever, this organization, a person, wants you to be 100% in something, and I don't feel like you are. I really don't feel like you care. It's kind of like, well, if something happens tomorrow, I can find a new job the next day. And that company's like, oh, you would just turn us down. You wouldn't try to, stay and fix things. Well, you're a bad employee. And if you're going to be a bad employee, then we're going to fuck your hours over. We're going to do this, that, and the other. Now, you could be like in a higher position where it could be your boss trying to do something to you. It could be, I just feel like it's really petty with this Five of Swords energy. It's really not a big deal. You do have judgment right here, meaning that they are casting a judgment call on you and they are arguing and they're trying to destroy these parts of you. But here's the thing. No one can really do anything unless you want them to. All right? They could damage your reputation. They could do whatever. But ultimately, I feel like you have the information to push back if you really, really wanted to on this. The Hanged Man, the Three of Pentacles. I feel like they just really want you to work on whatever this is. They really want you to stay. But here's the thing, they're coming about it in a really, really toxic, negative way. Maybe this person doesn't understand how to, what is that? What's that phrase? It's gain trust and influence people. There's a phrase, it's something, influence people. I feel like this person is just coming about it with this judgment energy. They're like, oh, if you don't like it, then get out. But before you go, I'm going to kick you in the ass. And don't let the door hit you on the way out. And then they slam the door on you. It's kind of like just, if you're going to leave, then I'm not going to let you go. And you're not going to have a good time. But here's the thing. It's because you have good work with the Three of Pentacles. They view you as a solid employee. It is what it is. But they can't kill the fool. They can't kill the work. They can't kill anything about it. And in fact, you have the information to fight back if you truly desire to. You have this King of Swords. You have a higher level of thinking. So ultimately, Virgo, it's really simple. It's not something you need to mull over. It's not something you really need to put too much time and attention to. It's not something that is, whatever. And it could be something as, people call you out on the internet because you're not giving them time and attention. Maybe you have a lot more subscribers and people like your work and people are calling you out and saying X, Y, and Z, but you really don't care. They're trying to ruin some sort of reputation, but the thing is that the Fool is already established and it's comprised of the Page of Cups and the Page of Wands. They can't really ruin the Fool. So, because death trumps every major arcana, or not death, but the Fool trumps every major arcana. All right? The Fool is the beginning and the end of the tarot sequence of the major and the minors. So even if they were to just flat out destroy it, the Fool would rise again because it's also a representation of like coming from the ashes. The moment where the phoenix dies and is reborn, that is the Fool energy. Okay? You have the Five of Wands, you have the Seven of Pentacles, and you have the Nine of Swords. People fighting over your work, trying to cause you anxiety, worry. They're trying to fight you because you're growing something. It's like you don't really care. You're growing so many other things right here. Maybe you know, maybe you're taking a job right now to pay for a business that you truly desire, okay? So maybe you are working at a really good job, but you're saving up all your money so that way you can start your own business. Well, you're about to start your own business and you're getting ready to leave and you're saying, all right, bye everybody, but they're just making it really miserable the last few months you're there. Like there's nothing that can change about this. It's just what it is. They're trying to make you have a very bad start with your Seven of Pentacles, whatever you're growing. They want you to be, polarized over it. They want you to fight over it. They want you to be anxious and worried and ridden. It's kind of, don't take your work home with you. A lot of people will deal with bullshit at work, right? And then they take that home with them to their wife, to their kids, to whatever. And they just feel anxious and they feel angry and whatever. I feel like these people know that you really don't care. And so they keep doing things to make you care, okay? Whatever this is, they just want to make you care about something, but you have foolish energy, so you don't, whatever this thing is. Because you're working on something else. And so you're coming at it from a more cold perspective with the King of Swords. You're coming at it from a very logical perspective. You're like, yeah, I know what you're doing. I don't really care. I mean, you're not going to really hurt me. And I kind of feel like that's what the situation is it's like you let people get away with stuff until it's like, physical altercation. And then that's not going to fly. And I don't think anyone's going to, but if they tried, I don't think you would allow it. I don't really think physical altercation. I mean, you have the 5 of Wands, you have the 9 of Wands, 7 of Wands. Someone could push you, someone could do something, someone, whatever. But I really think that, it's not something you should be really concerned about. Yeah, you have the Ace of Pentacles coming out and the 9 of Cups. You're focused on something else. Okay? So you have a wish come true. You have a new opportunity ahead for you. And maybe this is something that took place in your past. I wouldn't say worry about it. I wouldn't say mull it over. It's kind of like if I can't have you, no one can, and I'm going to destroy you so that way you're damaged goods for the next person. I mean, and someone may have done a lot of work on you, but now that you're older, now that you're wiser, now that you see the situation from a different perspective, as to that some people are just immature and they can't use their words. They have to use, temper tantrums. I feel like it's something that is like, oh, well, it happens. And then you just move on with your life. So what's going on with the Witch's Familiar Oracle cards? What do we need to know? Caution, wisdom. I feel like you still need to use caution within this. I feel like you have to have discernment. I wouldn't say, go into your job and say, F you, whatever, cuss your boss out. I'd say just be aware that that's what's going on or that's what happened in your past. Just be aware you're having a better wish fulfillment coming up for you in the future. If you're mulling over why someone would be this way, someone would do something like that, it's because if they can't have you, then no one can. All right? So wisdom, see it for what it is. If you, honestly, here's the thing. Virgos can do the work of like 100 other people, all right? But Virgos think that it's just something that they can do. They can also create things. They can also, just be... Virgos can have their fingers in a lot of different pies, all right, all at once, and still manage to create something that's beautiful and amazing and a garden for them, all right? But here's the thing about Virgo. They don't look like they're the ones who created the garden. It's kind of like, this is a really weird concept. This is what happened. So I used to have a neighbor when I lived in the city who's kind of like a trophy wife, I suppose. Anyway, she would always go outside in like really, really expensive high heel stilettos and like all dressed up, and she'd go and sweep her front lawn. And she'd make it look really nice outside right before her husband came home, right? But you would never expect her, like if you saw her out in public, you would think that she never lifted her finger. That woman worked, all right? She'd go out there in stilettos and plant flowers. Like she did not care. But that's who she was. And that's kind of when I see Virgo, it's kind of like that energy. It's like that trophy wife that gets things done but still looks good, that still has a great body, that's still, smart, intelligent, whatever. So that's what people oftentimes forget about this energy for themselves. And it can also be male energy. Males can just be, very attractive, very, studious people who do a lot of different things, who look like, they could dress up and look great one minute, but still, go play football or go do yard work the next. So what is going on right here? What do we need to know? I'm going to be using the spellcasting oracle cards. We have animals and we have willpower. So pay attention to animals during this time period. Pay attention to your willpower to get things done. It's your willpower that allows you to move forward. It's because you pay attention to the signs and synchronicities of animals, of nature, that's allowing you to build things, that's allowing you to create things. And maybe you don't even pay attention to yourself when you do these things. Maybe you don't pay attention to the animals. Maybe you don't pay attention to what's going on within your life. But pay attention to that stuff, okay? Pay attention to how much work you do, how good you looked doing it, how you're capable, how you're committed, how you're able to, balance and juggle all of these different things, all right? And here's the thing about your signs, all right? Your sun sign is really not that important, but it is your moon sign, it is your rising sign, it is your Venus, your Mercury, your Mars. All those other signs are just as important when it comes to certain aspects. For example, if you're looking for communication, like how do people want to communicate with you? Is someone going to call you, text you, things of that nature? Go look at your Mercury, wherever your Mercury is placed. If you're looking for love, that's your Venus sign. If you're looking for, what's going to happen in your future, that's your North Node. If you're looking for your Mars sign, that's how you work. That's how you, do things physically. Once again, your sun sign, it has aspects and it is your chart, like, one of the main placements for you. However, it's not that important in the grand scheme of things. So if this message is not resonating for you, I would definitely go and check out what you're looking for. Are you looking for love? Are you looking for, your inner feelings? If you're looking for how people view you, that's definitely your rising sign. So mummy, change, skull of stars, infinite possibilities. I feel like the change is coming. I feel like there is an adaptation, but here's the thing, the skull of stars is the infinite possibilities, which is the full energy, all right? They could kill off the 2 pages, but nothing can kill the full, all right? So change and switch things up. You still have, earth and you still have air to play with. While those 2 other elements are healing up, while you're trying to figure out those elements and trying to, balance out your life again, trying to work on, can you trust someone? Can you love them? Are you ever going to be, outgoing and optimistic again? Focus on your air, focus on your earth, all right? What does air represent? It represents, critical thinking. What does earth represent? It represents the things that you can touch, the things that you can mold and create for yourself. So while you're healing from these 2 situations, focus on those 2, your critical thinking and what you can create for yourself. So let's look at your awakened oracles. What's going on for you, Virgo? You have brilliance, you have be love. All right, so yeah, once again, it's all about your brilliance and all about, how you do things. With the 3 of Pentacles, people view it as a very minor card, but it's actually a very good card to have, okay? The 3 of Pentacles and how they view you is that they view you as someone who's very, very capable. He's a stonemason. He's an artist as well. If you look at the entire card of the 3 of Pentacles, I don't know if you can see it. I have a kind of a bad camera. But if you look at the entire card, he's crafted everything right there. He's crafted this column along with these arches, along with whatever this is up here. They're looking at what he's done, and he's fairly young because he's standing on a stool. So if you were to take his body and match it to these 2 people right here, he's not much like, he's shorter than them, all right? So that's what you have to understand, is that he's a younger person who's shorter than everyone else, representing his youthfulness. That's a skilled artist, a skilled craftsman. And these people are older than him, probably, 40s, looking at what he's done and thinking, wow, how could someone who's so young do all of these things and be talented and able to do these things? Well, it is what it is. You have Jera, harvest, reward, fruition, maturity, growth. Spiritual meaning is right action and natural law. You're being rewarded for your efforts, for what you've put up with, for what you're dealing with. Have maturity in the situation. Take care of yourself if you have to take care of yourself. Natural law, the situation will play out. Just understand, if you're mulling this over, this is why. Rado, speed your journey, ease the transition, aid communication, bring good news, and find your spiritual way. All of which are very important things for this energy right here. Aid communication. You're moving forward into a new situation, and to ease that transition, to have good news, which is that Ace of Pentacles with the 9 of Cups, and find your spiritual way. Find whatever you're supposed